and I was on a hyzer, flip to flat, perfectly straight in a headwind. That's pretty much what you want to see from one of these. Alright Discmanians, today we are reviewing the flight of the FD. The weather today is sunny, a little bit overcast, and right now we've got a tailwind. We will shoot from the other side after this, and we'll shoot that in the headwind so we get the same comparison backward. So I'm going to preview the old FD, which is a 7.6 neg 1.1, and we got the 7.601. And I've also got a metal flake Teebird, which is a 7.502 for as a comparison as well. Right now I've got the catch cam set at exactly 100 meters, and we've got Roscoe out there. I've also got a speed gun, so we can judge exactly the speed of each of these throws for a good comparison. Here's a bit of a close-up. Alright, so Roscoe's going to be helping me today. Roscoe, cheers for helping. As you can see, he's got all of my attire on, but I don't have anything on.
Represent.
We came prepared. So each of these we're going to be throwing on a hyzer, flat, and anhyzer with the tailwind, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the hyzer, flat, and anhyzer in the headwind. Alright, so we're going to do flat throws of the old FD, new FD, and Teebird. Hit it. That throw was probably about 60% power. I'll do the same for the old Teebird. FD, sorry. And now the Teebird. They all grouped fairly similar, about 10 meters away from each other. Walking back, I really putting the two next to each other in my hand. They feel almost exactly the same. This obviously being a used one, so it feels a little bit grippier. And the new one has a little bit more dome to it. I'll see if I can put it close to the camera. It's got a slight more dome to it. Otherwise they feel exactly the same. Same profile and everything. Alright, so now we'll throw on a hyzer, the new FD. So that was 73 kilometers an hour. I'll do the same again. Pretty identical flight. So it holds that hyzer line pretty well. You can see it trying to flip up, but it's just holding that line. Also, another thing that I noticed while I was walking up here is, and I don't know if it's how old this one is compared to this new one, but the new plastic feels a little bit stiffer. These sat out in the sun for a little bit while, so I walked back and got them and picked them up. And yeah, this feels a little bit more rigid. Alright, so we're going to do the last one in the tailwind. We'll do all four of these again. This time I'm going to do anhyzer release, and I might put on a little bit more power as well, see if I can get it past the catch cam. That's 71 miles per hour, and you can see I put enough height on it that it carried forward and faded back enough time. Had a really good S-line flight. And I'll do the FD, and this one's a little bit more understable, so I'm going to have to, it'll probably jump a little bit quicker. Still came out, but it didn't come out and fade quick enough, so as soon as it flattened out, it didn't have enough skip to keep going, so it just hit the ground and stopped. That was a little bit faster on the speed gun as well. We'll do the Teebird, which so far has been a little bit the most stable from the three. That was 72 kilometers per hour, and you can see that wanted to fade back quicker. Alright, so now we're throwing into a headwind. Headwind is a little bit more, the wind is a bit more significant than it was before. The sea breeze is coming in. I've got same 4 discs. I'm going to throw all 4 of them in this order, and I'm going to throw them flat. And then we're going to do hyzer, then anhyzer into the headwind. Alright, so I threw that at 73 kilometers per hour, and it's made it about 80 meters, and it's just dumped. This headwind's actually killed it pretty hard. We'll throw the old one, and we'll see how we go. Alright, so I threw that one a little bit harder, and the wind actually picked it up and gave it a little bit more flight, and that's gone probably a good 5 or 10 meters further because it had time to fade out. We'll throw the Teebird, which is the most overstable, and we'll see how we go. So that was thrown at 79, which was actually a little bit harder than both of those throws, and as to be expected, it didn't turn over as much. It had the full flight and faded out. Alright, so after throwing them flat, I actually noticed, even though this is a neg 1 and this is 0 in turn, they actually fly around about the same. I actually threw this even harder, and I gave this one a little bit more height. But they had the same path in the flight, and they actually landed about 5 meters within each other. This one went a little bit further, and this one dumped a little bit shorter. And then, as to be expected, this carried the headwind a little bit better and went the furthest. Alright, so now we're going to throw them on a hyzer angle, which is probably best for this wind, and we'll see how they go. That went 79 kilometers per hour, and I was on a hyzer, flip to flat, perfectly straight in a headwind. That's pretty much what you want to see from one of these. So I'm going to throw the old one next. Alright, so they actually had almost the same flight path. I feel the red one, I'm not too sure of its weight, but it had a little bit more glide. So it's probably gone maybe 2-3 meters further, but exactly the same flight path. So although that old red one, even though it's beaten and it's the old version and it's a neg 1 turn, it actually has a very similar flight path in the headwind. I'll throw the Metal Flake Teebird. I put that a bit too much hyzer, but again, as to be expected, it's the most stable of them all. Alright, so now we're going to do anhyzer review, and I can pretty much guess what's going to happen to all of these. Maybe not this one, but they're going to dump fast. I'm going to give it enough time and enough angle and height to see if we get full flight path out of them. First up, new one, we'll go from there. Alright, that just turned into a cut roller. Do the same. I actually threw that one a little bit different, better nose angle, and it had some time to fade out. Teebird. Same cut roll, and then this one's just going to turn into a roller. I'm actually going to intentionally turn into a roller, see if I can just go straight past the camera or hit it. Oh, dude, it might hit it. Oh, go!
Oh, no! Around it. Oh, it's gonna come back. No.
Oh, that was good. At least we got something for it. Alright, so I just want to do a bit of a send off. I found like it had a little bit more glide and a tailwind than the old FD. And it actually felt a little bit more overstable on a tailwind, and it felt a little bit more overstable on a headwind as well. So otherwise they're pretty much exactly the same as the old FD. I'm guessing that old one's a little bit lighter, the new one's at 176 grams, so max weight. They feel very similar in the hand. The new one has a slightly firmer plastic, otherwise they're both C-line and both feel exactly the same. I'm really impressed with it. Probably not going to go into my bag because I've already got some slots for it, and I'm a big mid thrower, so I don't have many fairway drivers in my bag. But for you fairway throwers that just want to shoot a straight shot in a headwind with a hyzer flip, straight flip to flat, or on a tailwind, dead flat, angle, straight as can be, the FD is the way to go. Do like and subscribe. Go on.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Disconnection. Like and subscribe. Hey y'all, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, follow Disconnection.